They told us it would be bold. They said it would redefine everything. They promised a Star Wars story like we'd never seen before. And in a way, they were right. It didn't just flip the table. It shattered it, scattered the pieces, and dared us to pretend it still looked the same. You could feel it the second the lights dimmed. The excitement, the weight of legacy pressing against every frame. We came searching for hope, for heroes, for something that felt like home. But instead, we watched familiar faces turn to strangers. Watched meaning drain from moments that should have echoed through the galaxy. Episode 8 didn't stumble by accident. It charged forward with confidence, slicing through expectations with a smirk. It wasn't about honoring what came before. It was about replacing it, mocking it, rewriting it in real time. And somewhere between the subversion and spectacle, the soul got lost. It's one thing to take risks, to challenge the mythos, to question the past. But when you burn the blueprint without building something better, all you're left with is ash. And ash doesn't inspire. It suffocates. It clings to the legacy like a stain. And no amount of visual brilliance can wash it away. And yet, fans still held on, to memories, to meaning, to the belief that Star Wars was more than just a brand. Because it's not just about ships or lightsabers or flashy fights. It's about heart, sacrifice, faith in something greater. And when that's gone, the galaxy feels smaller than ever. In this video, we're diving deep into the wreckage of Episode 8, breaking down why it missed the mark so completely, how it damaged characters we loved, how it mistook shock for storytelling, and why, for so many of us, this wasn't just a bad movie, it was a breaking point. Let's just ask the question nobody wants to admit out loud. What actually happened in Episode 8? Because if you strip away the hype and the nostalgia and the lightsaber duels, you're left with a film that feels like it's trying to forget Star Wars even existed. It's like watching a magic trick where the magician keeps showing you the wires and calling it innovation. Every scene makes you lean in and go, wait, is this supposed to be serious, or is this a parody of itself? The opening alone tells you everything you need to know. A prank call joke kicks off a war scene, and suddenly the stakes feel like a comedy skit instead of a rebellion on the edge of extinction. And we're not talking about levity here. We're talking about undercutting tension so hard, the film practically begs you not to care. It sets the tone not for bold storytelling, but for constant tonal confusion. Like it's desperate to be different, but not daring enough to commit. And then there's the treatment of heroes. Luke Skywalker, the symbol of hope for generations, is now a bitter, cowardly hermit who drinks alien milk and scoffs at everything he once believed. We're told this is character growth, but it feels more like character assassination dressed in pretty cinematography. It's the cinematic equivalent of burning a flag and calling it a reinvention. And somehow, fans were expected to clap. The mystery box that defined Episode 7 is emptied without grace or build-up. Snoke is killed without context. Rey's parents are nobodies. And every answer feels like the writers are mocking the audience for even asking questions in the first place. It's a bold choice, but bold doesn't always mean good. Sometimes it just means careless. There's a difference between subverting expectations and betraying them. And Episode 8 doesn't just blur that line, it obliterates it. It's one thing to surprise an audience, it's another to insult their investment in the story. For decades, fans built emotional connections to these characters, only to be told that none of it matters anymore. Take Finn, for example. A former stormtrooper turned rebel with one of the most compelling backstories in the sequel trilogy. And what do they do with him? Send him on a casino detour that contributes nothing to the plot, nothing to his character, and wastes screen time that could have been spent building tension or resolution. It's a side quest that belongs in a video game, not a galactic epic. And speaking of that casino arc, it's where the film's messaging tries to punch through, but it does so with all the subtlety of a sledgehammer. We're introduced to arms dealers, animal abuse, and class warfare, but none of it sticks, because it's wedged into a movie that never slows down to explore any of it. It's Star Wars trying to be socio-political without having the discipline to say anything coherent. There's something deeply sad about watching a universe you love unravel in front of your eyes. And Episode 8 doesn't unravel it slowly, it rips it apart, piece by piece. While pretending it's building something new, you see the ghosts of what this film could have been, buried under choices that just didn't care. Leia, once the heart of the rebellion, is reduced to a miracle moment that broke more than it inspired. Her spaceflight isn't powerful, it's bizarre. It turns one of the most emotional scenes into a meme, and the reverence she deserved is drowned out by disbelief. You're left confused, not moved. And that says everything. Luke's arc is the biggest heartbreak, not because it had to be the same old story, but because it betrayed the soul of who he was. We're not watching a Jedi Master wrestle with failure. We're watching a legend be torn down because the writer didn't believe in heroes anymore. It hurts more than it shocks, because it didn't have to be this way. The music swells, the visuals dazzle, but the story is hollow. And when you peel back the layers, all you find is loss. Not the kind that drives a story forward, but the kind that erases it. You feel the weight of missed potential in every frame, and it lingers long after the credits roll, and maybe that's what hurts the most. This wasn't just a bad movie, it was a goodbye to everything Star Wars used to stand for. And no matter how much they tried to dress it up, fans could feel it. Something was gone, and it wasn't coming back. There's no denying that Episode 8 looks stunning. The throne room fight, the hyperspace attack, the final salt-covered battlefield. Visually, it's a masterclass. Every shot feels painted with purpose, like someone behind the camera still cared deeply about the craft. And in that sense, it commands respect. The throne room battle is pure cinema. Crimson guards, flickering blades, silhouettes dancing through chaos. It's a moment where everything works. The choreography, the symbolism, the emotional stakes, even if the story falls short. Scenes like that remind you how powerful Star Wars can be when it leans into spectacle. Holdo's lightspeed maneuver is a silent explosion that shakes the screen. A moment so beautiful it almost makes you forget the plot hole it leaves behind. You sit in awe, watching something bold, something different, even if it breaks every rule that came before it. And for a second, you feel it again. That Star Wars magic. But maybe, just maybe, Episode 8 did something important by showing us what not to do. Maybe its failure sparked a new kind of fire. Not in the galaxy, but in the audience. Because the backlash wasn't just noise. It was the sound of fans remembering what mattered to them. People didn't walk away silently. They pushed back. They voiced their love for the characters that had been sidelined. They demanded better. And in that frustration there was passion. A reminder that Star Wars still meant something, even when the stories lost their way. The love for Luke, for Leia, for legacy, didn't die in Episode 8. It endured in spite of it. And that's a powerful thing. Because if a film can make us reflect, challenge our views, and reignite our expectations, then maybe it wasn't all for nothing. The fans who stayed, who spoke out, who made their own content, who kept the heart of the galaxy alive, they're the reason this universe still breathes. Not the studios, not the scripts, but the people who believed in something bigger, something deeper. And maybe the real hope isn't in Episode 8 itself, but in what comes after, in the people who watched it, and decided to build something better, not out of hate, but out of love. In the end, Episode 8 isn't just a film, it's a tragedy, not because of the story it told, but because of the story it could have told. It was a moment that could have united a generation, but instead, it divided it. It took the myth and made it mundane, the legend and made it disposable. There's something deeply human about watching a legacy crumble, about seeing hope replaced with cynicism, faith replaced with apathy. The tragedy isn't that it tried something new, it's that it forgot what made the old so timeless, and in that forgetting, it lost itself. We don't mourn Episode 8 because it was different. We mourn it because it didn't believe in anything, not in the Force, not in destiny, not in the people who carried this universe for decades. It hollowed out the core of a saga built on love, sacrifice, and redemption. And yet, even in tragedy, there's reflection. There's a lesson in the fall, a chance to remember why stories matter, why symbols endure, why heroes rise, and why we keep returning to galaxies far, far away. Because we're not just watching movies, we're watching mirrors of ourselves. Episode 8 was supposed to be the spark, but instead it became the warning, a reminder that even the greatest legends can be broken if we forget the soul behind them. Thank you for watching the whole video. I make videos because of my love for Star Wars and Marvel. I've been asked countless times how I get my subtitles, and I generate them automatically with a tool I built. That same tool can be used here on my website. It's completely free and doesn't require signing up. My website contains the subtitle generator that is perfect for any video, blogging post, where you can sign up with your email and receive notifications for when I post, and also my 3 channels. Critical Analysis Hub focuses on Star Wars and Marvel movies. Critical Analysis Hub Plus looks at Star Wars and Marvel shows. And Critical Analysis Hub XP centers on video games, like The Last of Us series, Jedi Survivor, and GTA 5. Thank you for being a fan.